All right. Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be here today with Lisa, one of my favorite people on the planet. She is someone I met a little over a year ago, and she has been one of the ladies that I've been really inspired by. Really look to her. She just lives her life full of energy and excitement and with passion, and I was attracted to that quality in her from the very beginning. So I'm really excited to share a few minutes with her today and give you guys a chance to get to know her a little bit too. I promise at the end of this call, you'll be inspired and feel her light and her love, just like I did from the first time I met her. So, but if you haven't met me, just really quickly, I just want to introduce myself so you know who's talking with you guys today. My name is Rachael Curfew. I am an anxiety coach. I am a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I'm a dog owner. And my biggest, greatest passion is working with women and helping them learn how to turn off their anxiety alarms, learn how to release and figure out what those triggers are that was triggering the alarm in the first place, and helping them work through the things that were holding them back, keeping them stuck, so that they can move forward into that bright, beautiful light of love and peace and happiness and joy. And it's such a beautiful process, and I'm really humbled to be able to be a part of that. But these women, they're the ones who actually do all the work. I'm just the one who gets to kind of cheer them on and to share some of the things I've learned that I did as coming out of my anxiety, and now I get to watch them be successful in their lives. So anyway, Lisa, though, she, like I said, we met, I think you said a little while ago when we were talking earlier, about a year ago. And will you just tell us like how we crossed paths, how you met me? Is that something you're comfortable sharing?
So I had just been perusing a Facebook group for LDS moms, and I came across someone who had posted about how they were struggling with anxiety. And one of the commenters in the Facebook post mentioned your Facebook group, Anxiously Engaged, and suggested that this woman join this group because you had some good strategies and it might provide some good information for her. So I thought, well, I struggle with anxiety. I'm going to join that group too. At that same time, you were posting or advertising your course, Anxiety is a Gift. And I started reading about that course and realized it was exactly what I was looking for. I struggle with anxiety, but I would call it functional anxiety, in that no one would know that I had anxiety, and nor did I tell them I had anxiety. And sometimes I didn't even realize I had anxiety because I was so used to a certain way of functioning and thinking that it was normal for me. Right. But when I read about the outline of your course and you described, are you struggling with A, B, C, D, I fit the profile completely. And I thought, oh, I that's me. And I saw myself in the person that you were trying to help. And I thought, oh, this is an answer to a prayer, but I didn't realize I was looking for an answer. I didn't realize, honestly, that I had the power to change my thought process. I didn't realize I had the power. I just thought it was going to be something that I truly struggled with my whole life. So I decided that it would be the best investment of my time, money, and energy. And so I pretty much signed up for your course right when I saw it. It was right away.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. And lots of women have found me through different Facebook groups and different things like that. A lot of women come to me and say they felt they were led to me for one reason or another. And so I love hearing stories like that, because I love that we get to be it's part of that. People who know me know that I'm really passionate about sisterhood and bringing women together and helping one another. So I really love that you, like, when I hear stories about women talking on the other Facebook groups and that how we can help each other and connect with in other ways through the groups and different things, it just really makes me excited. So I'm really glad that people are out there and talking and sharing and what things they've learned and how they can help each other. So that's fantastic. So you signed up for Anxiety is a Gift. And pretty quickly, like you said, which is awesome, a lot of women I find don't like to talk to me because women who have anxiety get anxiety about talking about their anxiety with me. And so I love, that's the other reason I love that you shared that story, is because sometimes when we are anxious, it's hard to make a really big decision, like, should I sign up for a program? Because things I've tried may not have worked, or I've tried all these things and they didn't work, they failed. And so one of the things I really like about this program is, one is we do get to bring the gospel into it. And when we add the gospel to anything, that's where we find true healing. But there is a group of women that come together. We share, as we make best of friends in these groups. So do you feel like you, even though it was like a group program, it's a small group program, did you feel comfortable and safe there? Did you make good friends there? Was it, because a lot of ladies get really worried about, it's a live class and it's so scary, and they get anxiety about it.
I did at first. Initially, I wasn't super comfortable with it at all. You're strangers to me, and we're talking about very personal things with strangers, and I wasn't comfortable with it at first. I didn't like the idea of the sessions being recorded, but now I love that, because then I can go back and pick out the things that I needed to remember. I didn't like that I didn't know the other women.
Mm-hmm.
And I ugly cry, and I didn't want people to see me cry, and
Right.
that bothered me. But then I realized I was so committed to changing my life that none of that mattered any longer. I did not care. So I got to a point where whatever it is, I was so committed that whatever it is you challenged us to do, to think about, to practice, I was going to do it. I was in 150%. But that was part of I think that was why I felt so successful, is because when you challenged us to do something, I did it. So that part, the live class, it took a little bit of getting used to. But I think once I threw myself in it, and then the other girls just threw themselves in it, we started to trust each other, and we saw common struggles with each other very quickly because we just threw ourselves into it. And so we kind of got over that pretty quickly, and were able to click. Did I make great friends? Oh my goodness. That is one of the byproducts of this class that I never ever anticipated. So I have 3 lovely new women, 4, including you, women in my life that it's been the greatest blessing for me. Aside from the course itself, I think were the connections that I was able to make with other amazing and talented women. And that in itself was life-changing. So it's just a byproduct of the course, but it's one of the best ones.
That's awesome. And I have to tell you, I love that you said that you jumped in 150%, even with the anxiety and the fears, because you, in all the years that I've taught this course, you are the only person that has said to me, after everything I suggest, all the silly things, the crazy things, anything that I suggest, the practical things, you are the only one after every single one that said, I will do it. No questions asked. I will do it.
And I did.
Say, I will do it. And you did just that. You did it. So I'm really proud of you. You did a great job. And I will just on a slight tangent here, just make a note. You mentioned the videos being recorded. And so if anybody's watching this who's considering taking the course, you need to know they are recorded, but they are not posted in a public place. They're posted in a very private place, only for just the women in just that group. So they can go back and rewatch those videos if they miss a class or need to leave early or something like that, but they are not posted publicly. So it is safe within a very private space. So but I appreciate you sharing that, because that's one of the biggest concerns a lot of ladies have, is they're nervous about that it is a small group, but it is a very private and safe group too. So we do everything we can to make it a very comfortable and safe place. So, okay, so during the course, you said the bonus was that you made some really great friends. You learned some strategies and looked at some things from some different perspectives. What would you say is your greatest aha or takeaway while you were taking the course? Did anything come up or surprise you? Or
Well, there was a few things. I think the part that dramatically changed my life was the principle of gratitude. And so I had no idea that the principle of gratitude was connected to anxiety. And so while I was participating in the Anxiety as a Gift course, I had also just finished your 45-day gratitude challenge, and which I did religiously. And that principle in itself, and then learning within the course how that applied to gratitude, changed my life. I started seeing God's hand in the very small details of everything that I did. And when you start to recognize that God is in the details, you can't feel anxious because he's there all the time. And so when you are forced to look at the very small, every experience in your life through a lens of gratitude, you can see God. And when you can see God, you can't fear. And so that is truly, that was the beginning of my journey, was the gratitude challenge. So from there, that was just the first step. But that in itself, I had no idea that a simple practice could rewire my brain. And so now, a year later, while I don't record everything in a gratitude journal now, I automatically jump to a gratitude-filled focus when I'm experiencing something. So when something goes sideways, I'm able to say, okay, but at least I got a parking spot. At least, I'm grateful that this happened and this happened and this happened, so that whatever the big thing is that was thrown at me, it's not so big, because I am able to see that God was there despite the big thing, and that I'm simply being refined in my journey along the way. He hasn't left me. He hasn't, abandoned me. He's still there, but I need to process and experience what's happening to me or with my family or whatever the circumstance. But he's there, and gratitude did that for me.
Beautiful.
The second principle, I think, is about morning routine. And so you taught us about changing our morning routine and changing how we speak to ourselves during a morning routine. And I did not realize the impact that a morning time to myself, whether it be 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 45 minutes, or an hour, could change the course of my day. So before I had the chance to create thought patterns in the morning, I could program how I was going to perceive things, and I could program how I was going to respond to things. And I didn't realize I had that much power. But I do, because I could do the opposite just as quick. I could say, and so that to me was enlightening and empowering and life-changing. And it was exciting, because I didn't realize I was missing so much by not taking the time to prioritize my own well-being before I attempted to meet the needs of my family. You need your oxygen mask first before you can put it on your child. I was not doing that. And so I loved that I was learning about how to change my life. And it was challenging when you asked us to get up a little earlier and you asked us to do all of these things. We were like, wow.
I think that's the week most ladies cuss me out. They get mad at me. They're like, what?
But it was second to gratitude, it was the most important thing I think you taught us. And I loved that. So those were the two big principles, the morning hour and gratitude, that really stood out for me.
That's awesome. So, and you mentioned your family. Has the impact and filling yourself up, putting your oxygen mask, all of that stuff, have you noticed now that it's been a little bit of time, how that has spilled over into your family? Has that made a difference in how you're showing up for your family and your children?
It has. It has, because I'm sleeping better. So that was a big thing. I was feeling so much anxiety. I could not sleep at night. And so I wasn't getting a lot of sleep. I was overeating. I was exhausted. And all of those contribute to really unhappy mama and unhappy parenting. And I didn't like that. And so now, although it's not perfect, it takes a long time to really change how you do things. I'm able to keep my pot from boiling over. Yeah. And so if I can keep my pot from boiling over, I can keep generally everyone else's pot from boiling over, because I have a better sense of what's happening in my own life. And then I'm more in tune with what's happening with my husband and my children. Right. And so does it spill over? Absolutely. But then I can also use the strategies to teach my children how they can manage their anxiety. And they don't all have anxiety, but they have anxious moments, and I'm able to help them recognize what's happening, how to rein it in, and how to keep it from taking over their life.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And I love that, mamas. That's one of the reasons I love working with women, is I love that a mama can learn these skills and strategies, and then they can pass them on to their children. And that makes a difference. It makes a really big difference in your home, but the lives of your children, the future of your children. So that's beautiful. I love that you've learned them well enough to teach them and share them with your family. That's super cool. So if you were going to, if I was going to ask you, what would you tell other women who are struggling trying to decide if they should take the course or not? Because like I said, sometimes women get anxious about talking to me because they have anxiety, and it gives them anxiety to have to make a big decision about taking a course, and will it work, and is it worth my time? Is it worth my energy? So what would you say to those women? Because when I say it and they don't know me, and I say, yes, this is really awesome, it will change your life, it will help empower you, they don't necessarily have that relationship with me, and they think sometimes that maybe, well, she's just trying to sell a course like all these other people on the planet. She's just trying to make us some money. But my heart really is in it, to help women to change and empower themselves and empower their families. So what would you say to those women who are like, what if it doesn't work? What if I don't learn it? What if I don't have a success? What if I don't know if I have the time or the money or the resources or the energy? Like, what would you say to them?
Well, I think all of those questions are valid. What if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't change? And I thought all of those things before I took the course. Yes. And I thought, this might be a big fat waste of my money.
Yes.
And then I thought, what if it isn't?
Yeah.
And I thought, I in my mind, there were days that I felt I was kind of circling the drain, trying to keep up with everything that was happening and my own anxious, obsessive thoughts about things. And I thought, I have nothing to lose. I have nothing to lose. And so that's one thing, is that what if it works? Look at it that way. What are the possibilities? What if I do change? And so I kind of just flipped my thinking and thought, well, instead of thinking about, well, this might be a waste of money, what happens if it isn't? So that's why I went into the course full speed ahead and thought, well, I've got nothing to lose, nothing, absolutely nothing, a little bit of money, but that money would be well worth it if it worked. So I just thought, we're just going to do it. And so what would I tell other women? It was worth every last penny, every last penny. Every last morning, I had to juggle my husband taking my kids to school. Every last penny. It was that life-changing and that transformative for me. I feel like a new person. I still have lots of work to do. I still struggle, but I am now able to figure out how to solve that problem. I'm able to access resources. I'm able to access strategies. I'm able to access answers to questions. And I have solutions now, whereas before I felt like it was just a repetitive cycle in my head that I couldn't control. Now I know I can. And so when I start to feel anxious and I've not been implementing the strategies that I've learned, I know exactly what to do to make it stop.
Yes.
And that itself is worth $1 million because
Oh.
it's freeing, it is liberating,
Yeah.
and it's lightening. And so the load that I have in my mind isn't there anymore. And there's so much room for so much more creative stuff because I don't have this, 3,000 square foot space focused on anxiety. I have small blocks where I have worry and concern about legitimate things, but they are in boxes that stay that size because I know how to control what I'm thinking. And I don't have to spend time on them, as much time on them to resolve them, because I know what to do and how to do it. So to any woman that would question whether or not they wanted to take this course, every last penny, every last penny. It was the best decision I've ever made for myself as a woman, as a mother, as a wife. It was life-changing for me. And so if that's not enough, it's life-changing, absolutely life-changing.
Thank you. I'm all teary and like I'm
I'm a little weepy myself.
I'm teary and very, very humbled, and I really appreciate you sharing that. Thank you so much. I do want to just say, Lisa just mentioned a minute ago that sometimes after the course, people think, well, the class is over and we're done, and then I'm just on my own. And one of the things that is really, we've tried really hard to do within this group is to make sure that after the course, yes, the class ends, but you still have the lifeline. We still have the Facebook groups that stay open where we post things and people can ask questions. We have a graduates Facebook group. So once your course is over, you still always have the connections. You always have a place to go to ask questions, to get support, to get help. So even when the class ends, which is always the last day, is a little bittersweet. I cry every one of those days because you become such good friends and you develop such a good little sisterhood. But there is still a connection. There is a place to go, and that place is always there for you. So once you start the course, you never have to do it alone again. You always have someone in your corner who's ready to help you, who will answer your questions. I try to be there as much as I can, but the other ladies will step up too. So once you go through the course, you sign up, you become a member of this group, you're a lifer. You are in it. You are part of our group, our friendship, our sisterhood. You always have that lifeline pretty much forever. So I just want you guys to know that that's one of the reasons I think Lisa and I have become good friends too, is she's really active in those groups and she talks and she inspires women, she helps women, she's always cheering somebody on. So that's one of the things that is really amazing about her and one of the gifts that she's provided in those groups as well. So Lisa, you are beautiful, amazing. Like I said in the beginning, if a woman has watched this whole discussion, this conversation that we've had, if you have not been touched by Lisa and her amazingness, that ability to be 150% in all that she does, I don't know. I don't even have words. She's just amazing, and she lives life totally to the fullest. She's been an example to me in the last many months, watching her with her family and how she lives life so fully and is such a good mother and so engaged with her children. And she really, truly is inspiring. So if you are looking for friends, connections and stuff like people like Lisa, people like me who want to connect, who want to help make a difference in the world, we would love to have you, and we welcome you into our groups anytime. Lisa also mentioned the 45-day gratitude challenge. That's something we do. Sorry, still tearing. We do that every year in the fall, and it's a totally free group. We have lots. The Facebook group is totally open and free. The gratitude challenge is totally open to anyone and free. So we welcome you, and we'd love to have you as much or little as you can participate anytime. So Lisa, thank you. I love you. You're amazing. And we will talk again very soon.
You bet.